Now, this is an interesting claim. We're living in a lie because a Bible from 1775 allegedly shows 13 months instead of 12. There are many issues with this. First, congratulations on having a book with a non-Gregorian calendar. And if this is confusing you, there's more than one calendar. Ever encounter the Chinese New Year? Ever wonder why it doesn't fall on January 1st? Yeah, well, not every culture uses the same type of calendar. It's pretty interesting, right? For example, you have the North Korean Juche calendar, which uses the date of Kim Il sung's birth as year one, instead of the alleged birth date of Jesus Christ, which is what the Gregorian calendar uses. Or perhaps we should discuss the Hijri calendar, which is a lunar calendar based on the cycles of the moon, instead of the solar year, which is what the Gregorian calendar is based on. But before we continue, I keep bringing up the Gregorian calendar. What exactly is that? Well, way back in the day, the Romans had, you guessed it, the Roman calendar, which had 10 months based on the cycles of the moon, beginning in March and ending in December for a total of 304 days. Winter was as long as winter took, and it wasn't really factored into the whole calendar thing, apparently. There is some debate about the exact way this calendar functioned, but this should be a close enough description for our purposes. Later, Roman Emperor Julius Caesar implemented the Julian calendar, which is a solar calendar, meaning it was based on the solar year instead of the lunar month, and had 12 months. Then, in 1582, Pope Gregory XIII decreed the Gregorian calendar would be the new calendar, which made some minor changes to the Julian calendar to fix some leap year errors. That's the calendar we tend to use now in the Western world, but there's a third type of calendar I haven't mentioned yet. Lunisolar, which, as you may have guessed, is based both on the cycles of the moon and the solar year. For example, the Jewish calendar. Now, Jews came up pretty often in the Bible. Jesus was a Jew, for example. So, if we find what appears to be the original video featuring a man green screening himself into what I suspect is the Vatican Museum's gallery of maps, we can clearly see Nisan or Abib, which are two words I'm not sure I'm pronouncing right, but are also two words for the first month of the Jewish calendar. Do we think it might be unreasonable to suspect that this is merely a reference guide labeled a table of time that was inserted into the beginning of this very large Bible, exactly where reference guides and Bibles tend to go, so that readers who are unfamiliar with the Jewish calendar can reference it when it is mentioned later in the book? I mean, these are the names of Jewish months, and we even see the 13th month that is present for leap years. That's what intercalary means, by the way. It designates a day or month that is inserted into a calendar to realign it with the solar year. This was actually brought up in the comments section of the video, which I wish I had found before I found this myself, because it would have saved me some time. And after admitting he is not knowledgeable on his Bible, which takes some guts and I appreciate that, the uploader of this footage confirmed he was not aware that the Viator month was for leap years, which again, hope I'm pronouncing correctly. So if you're using this guy's video as a source for establishing that we are living a lie, you might want to rethink that. Perhaps the lie is that you were told the Gregorian calendar is the only calendar to have ever existed. But where does the deception detection kick in? After all, this video is in the deception detection playlist, which you should check out, why don't you? Well, the point of this Facebook reel doesn't really seem to be proving that we're living in a lie, as no real evidence is presented. I suspect that's just to get the attention of the right people, the people that are so conspiratorially minded that they'll believe all sorts of claims, such as this one in the reel's description. Dr. Paul Winters allegedly discovered a micro-sized brainwave that attracts wealth to anyone who activates it on command. Columbia University has confirmed it is 250 million years old and can be activated by listening to an audio tape which was leaked online by the CIA after they confiscated it. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, you can just click the link in the bio to get your hands on it. And if this website doesn't scream scam to you, well, it will after I make my follow-up video on what exactly is going on here. If you want that video to be made, like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe for a notification when it gets published. It's going to be a doozy. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, be good, stay safe.